Okay, item number 10128-3. We have a question by Mr. De La Fuente.
Yeah, I had requested about, I think some information concerning if we were to raise the deductible, would our insurance go down? And did we ever get that done?
Yes, sir, we did. Janie Gonzalez is here. She explained to me that the 2% is all that is offered, the 5% wasn't available. I'll let Janie go ahead and explain.
Okay.
Hello. I spoke to Shepherd Walton King, and 2% is all they do. They do not provide a 5%.
Okay, did any of the other people that
I did not check
proposed?
with the other proposer. Usually that is the max that they do is a 2%. If we were to do a 5%, you're talking about 5% of the building. So if we have a $21 million building, that's a pretty large percentage that we would have to pay out of our pocket prior to the windstorm policy paying.
Well, I understand that, but the thing is, I just wanted to see if somebody offered a 5% deductible, and if that would save us money from maybe 265,000, maybe we could save 100,000. I mean, I don't know. It was just an option
I
that.
checked with the Texas insurance managers. Their proposal was 295,000, if you noticed, compared to the 265,000 of.
But was their deductible also 2%?
They did not give us those options at all. So I would have to check with Texas insurance managers as well. I only checked with Shepherd, Walton, and King since they were the top proposer.
Is it unheard for them to offer a 5% deductible? I mean, when you talk about a $21 million building, 2% is still a lot of money.
Right, it is. And with my 30 years of experience, I've never seen anything higher than a 2%. Never seen it before, but it could be possible. I can always check.
How about, does TASB offer windstorm?
No, they don't. They do not offer it at all. Actually, we did receive a bid, but it was a no bid.
Oh.
Yeah, we only received 2 bids for the windstorm and hail.
When do we need to have this policy in effect?
It's a 2/1 effective date. We still have time. We definitely have time.
You've never seen a 5%?
I never have, but I'm not saying it's not possible. I can always check.
No. I mean, I think we need to move on it now, but I just want assurances that a 5% is a rare thing. And if you can say that, I'm willing to go along with it.
That is what Shepherd, Walton, and King told me. And after he said that, like I said, with my years of experience, I've never seen anything higher than a 2%.
Our policy last year was also 2%?
They've always been 2%. Yes,
That's
sir.
fine. I just wanted to explore that avenue,
Okay.
but I mean, if you're willing to assure us that it's kind of something that's not done,
Okay. Any
I'd be
other
willing to go
questions?
ahead and approve this item,
Okay.
move to approve this item.
Say that maybe next year when we go out for this bid, that you ask us if they have a 5%.
Okay.
Part of the fact.
Part of the bid.
We can do that in the proposal. Sure. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
I'll move that we approve this based on the information we have.
Second.
All right, there's a motion on the floor to approve this item by Mr. De La Fuente, a second by Joe G. Gonzalez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, Mr. De La Fuente had a question on item 10128-13.
Yeah, I just wanted to know what is the purpose of this? I know we're increasing, or I don't even know if we're decreasing or decreasing capitalization threshold.
The purpose of this, Mr. La Fuente, if I'm not mistaken, was due to the technology plan. Mr. Franco here, can you give us a bit more elaboration on that, Mr. Franco, please?
Good evening. Mr. De La Fuente, this request really came to us from the E-rate people via Mr. Tenasia, and it was then forwarded on to us to add to our policy. Basically, it's just an accounting process that needs to be in place, and they recommended that we have it in our policy.
Well, what was it previously?
We didn't have one. This policy did not exist. It's an addition to our policy, and we didn't have a number that was associated with what is considered to be a capitalized asset in our district. Now, we may have, on our own, had a number that we go by, but it was never formalized in policy. And I did check with Ms. McCall, and she's agreed that this is the number that would reflect what would be considered a capitalized asset for this district.
Are there any advantages or disadvantages I mean, you know, to raise it or lower it? I mean, you're just
Okay,
basically saying, set it at $5,000. Did you just, you know, they told us, but I mean, is that for the good of the district or?
They told us that we needed to have a policy that captures that number. That number of 5,000 came from within the district. As a matter of fact, it came from Ms.
Right.
McCall.
I'd like to interject a little bit there. The state has recommended for several years that we set the threshold at 5,000 for capitalization policy. And we didn't have it in policy, but that's what we've always used for the audit report for many years. And that's what the government recognizes as a threshold unless you have something separate. So we didn't have it in formal policy, and the E-rate people are very picky when they do their audit, and they wanted to see something that confirmed that that's what we were doing. So that's the reason we had that request put in there.
Okay.
But
And that's what the state recommends? That-
yes,
I mean, that
it's
seems like a
5,000.
low number for a capital asset. I mean, when I think of capital asset, I think of something, you know, significant.
Like a building or so
Yeah,
forth.
something of that. I mean,
Yeah,
I just-
it's, we track other things besides that, but they're not considered capital outlay or capital assets. But this would include vehicles and so forth. And you know, sometimes we buy used vehicles, and some of those are at the $5,000 threshold.
So what you're saying is everything under $5,000, you're not gonna track it anymore?
We still track it internally, but it's not considered a capital outlay for policy purposes. It doesn't show on the audit report. It's not going to show under what's the 6,600 line item. So it's not, we just track it for like computers. We don't want them to sprout legs and walk away. So we keep track of things like that that we think that would have a tendency to disappear.
Is this like also something recommended by, what is it, general accounting principles? Does that
Oh,
come into
yes,
play?
yes, for internal controls, you know, you want to maintain those items.
The $5,000
Yes,
threshold, right?
definitely. Mhm.
Okay.
And I think the E-rate people primarily are concerned with the fact that, you know, they do give the districts a lot of money, and the districts in turn use that money to buy things. And they want to make sure that if you're not capitalizing a lot of these items that you're buying, that you then don't turn around and get rid of them very quickly. So if you primarily spend your money on capitalized items, they have a tendency to be more long-term items that the district will maintain for years. So it's not just a dollar amount, but there's also a time period. Typically, if it's 2 years or more in use, or will be expected to be in use, then that's also part of the consideration for a capital asset.
All right. Well, I just needed some explanation. I mean, I saw this, I wanted to know if we were lowering it or raising it, or if there were advantages or disadvantages, or what. Where did this number come
We were
from?
just simply codifying it.
That's fine. I'll move that we approve item number 13.
Motion by Mr. De La Fuente, second by Mr. Manuel Gonzalez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, we'll move on to item number 9, closed meeting discussion under the authority of the Texas Government Code 551.071 for the purpose of a private consultation with board's attorney on any or all subjects or matters authorized by law, A, pending litigations, 551.074 for the purpose of the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, to hear complaints or charges against a public officer or employee, A, report on personnel. It is 7:52. We are now in closed session. It is 8:08. We are back from executive session. Item number 10, consider action on items discussing closed meeting 551.071 for the purpose of a private consultation with the board's attorney on any or all subjects or matters authorized by law. A, pending litigations, no action. 551.074 for the purpose of the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, to hear complaints or charges against a public officer or employee. A, report on personnel, no action. Item number 11, public comment. Do we have anybody? Mr. Luna? It's at the end of the meeting. Yeah. All right, no public comment, hearing none. Before we adjourn, I would like to wish all the board members a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. To you, to your families, to everyone, to all the staff from San Benito CISD, to the parents, to our students, to everyone, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Our meeting is now adjourned at exactly 8:09 PM.